Hey, thanks for doing
Hey,
this with me. I'm so excited. I'm so stoked.
thank you so much for having me. I'm stoked too.
Ah, All right, well, let's jump in. I am Demi. I am the digital and social media editor for Indie 1023, and I'm here with Michelle of Japanese Breakfast. How are you doing,
Hello.
Michelle?
I'm doing well. It's nice and sunny here in Brooklyn, and I am, very basic and very happy about that.
Honestly, I've seen so many TikToks recently of people in New York who are like, the sun is out. Oh my God.
It's been a long winter for us all.
Truly, especially when we're inside this much, it's insane. It is insane. I actually didn't know you were in Brooklyn, so that's fun.
Here I am.
Well, you have been busy. So busy.
It's nice
I
though, like a refreshing change of pace. I've been very not busy for a long time, so it's been a struggle to try to like switch gears.
Yeah, I mean, like from writing the book to now, and then going into production, creating music, and like all of these things. And now you just announced a tour too, so it's just like it's gonna be nonstop from here on out.
I hope so. I'm ready.
You're ready for it. Well, let's talk about Jubilee. And by Jubilee, I mean the name Jubilee, because it's such a powerful title that Jubilee is just such a radiant, energetic word. Why did you choose that for the title of your album?
I guess because of that. I mean, that was such a lovely way to describe it. I feel like the narrative around Japanese breakfast, rightfully so, is that I'm a musician that's written a lot about grief and trauma and suffering. And the last two records I wrote were very invested in those topics, and then I still wasn't over it and had to write an entire book about the topic. And so with this new album, I just felt like I wanted to sort of fling myself to the other end of the spectrum and kind of surprise people with an album about joy. So yeah, I knew that like the color yellow and this theme of joy was going to be a really prominent focus on this album. And it felt like, I spent so much of Saw Sound from Another Planet kind of disassociating, and I was sort of ready to embrace feeling in a very new way with this album. So for me, Jubilee is like the year of release, and it felt like a fitting title.
Man, yeah, the year of release. I think that that is so like strong, such a strong phrase to describe that, especially with everything that's been going on. And I know that you've been very vocal and active about the AAPI community, especially in recent light of all of these like tragic events and things like that. So yeah, I just think that a compilation that you're creating right now is just so needed to inspire hope and joy, but still talk about trauma and some of these really important stories without it just being molded in like just 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 devastation and sadness.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go on another little tangent because I just watched the Tina Turner documentary that just
Oh,
came out.
was it good?
Oh
It
my
looks.
God, it was so good. And I love Tina Turner. And yeah, she actually talks about, I mean, you can't talk about Tina Turner, unfortunately, without talking about some of the traumas that she's experienced. And honestly, watching it made me think of you, also because I had this interview for today. But she touches on how the reminders of these traumas for a long time prevented her from not being able to heal. And then as she continued to put out more projects and do more interviews, I'm not going to spoil it for you or anybody who's going to watch it, but she eventually comes to a resolution. And
Hmm.
so I feel like you have been on a similar journey for a really long time. And I just really want to know, how are these projects helping you heal, and what do you hope that that the audiences get to take away from this, that may be going through a similar experience that may need that closure?
Yeah, I mean, when I wrote Psychopomp, I was in a really vulnerable and raw state. My mom had died just the year before. And I think that, it was the combination of sort of focusing my energy into into these projects and of course time, like it's I think that grief is something that I'll always live with, but it certainly does, just get a little easier to like do everyday things as time goes on. And I feel like that is, I guess, the ultimate message to those who are grieving is that, it just takes time to like relearn sort of how to sometimes do the simplest tasks in the wake of loss. To just be able to like move and shower and breathe again. Those things like are very much, you have to relearn them, and over time it does get easier, and it's not something that it's ever going to be like eliminate, like that struggle is never going to be eliminated from your life completely. And it would be honestly more tragic if it did. I think that like loss is a reminder of how much, or grief is just a reminder of how much you love someone, and it is, I think that Nick Cave wrote this really beautiful thing about losing his son, where it's like grief is like the sort of pact that you make with a loved one, that you're going to feel their loss, and you can't really have like love someone without experiencing that, and that is the unfortunate truth of it in a way. So yeah, I guess I would hope that they could take that away, and that I guess with this record it's like you're still, joy is like still within reach if you like create a space for it, and that it's possible to endure something really heavy and hard, and still experience joy in your life later on, I think.
Yeah, I think that was perfect. There's just been so much grief that everyone has had to process in this past year. So I just think that will be really helpful to anybody that happens to come across your album, and also your book, Crying in H Mart. It comes out this month. Are you excited? Are you nervous? Like, how are you feeling about it?
I'm all of those things. I mean, it's also just so surreal, it's been such a long time coming, and I'm just so ready and excited for it. But yeah, it's unreal. It's hard to believe that it's so soon. 2 weeks, I think.
Oh man. Yeah, it's funny because when did you posted about it on Instagram? I don't know if it was like 2 years, maybe a year ago. And it just feels like, oh my God, it's finally happening.
It's been a long time. I definitely posted about it at least 2 years ago, and it turns out it takes a long time to write a book.
Truly. But you've written a couple of essays. You just had a recent one come out in Harper's Bazaar. So is writing like another outlet to help you kind of express your feelings and what's going on and to help you process things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's like, a pretty restrictive word count when it comes to songwriting. So like,
Yeah.
An album has maybe 500 words or even less than that. And, sometimes I just have some extra feelings that need to go somewhere, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, because Crying in H Mart, it's already been, just from doing a basic Google search, it's already on like 20, like, you should check out this book, like lists that I've just seen. And so we're excited. People are excited. And so, especially because I think that you're able to express yourself a little bit more and go more in depth with what you're trying to say. And yeah, I just think it's a really palatable way for us to process like your story. So yeah, I'm super excited. Please check out Crying in H Mart. It comes out April 20th. And a couple more things I want to touch on because I don't want to keep it too long, because you're going to be on this talking circuit for a while. Is your visuals that came out this year, including Posing in Bondage, which literally came out today. I know we're gonna post this recording later, so but they are some of my favorite visuals that have come out this year. They are incredible, and so self-directed on top of that.
Self-directed.
A labor of love. They're great. Can you tell me, okay, I have so many questions. I know you just did a Q&A about Posing in Bondage, but I just love the supernatural theme. One, it's giving me Spice Girls when they get abducted in Spice World. It's giving me like X-Files, which I never watched, but my uncle was obsessed with when I was a kid. And it's kind of giving me a little Stranger Things as well.
Yeah, we definitely felt that way when we saw it. We didn't like intend to shoot. We didn't intend that as a reference, but once we saw the shot of me sort of towering over Harmony with the flickering lights, we were like, I look like a demigorgon.
You do. Like a big. So, it was just, It was meant to be. It's all coming
Yes, I
together.
love that you felt that way, because we definitely
I was
feel
obsessed with
that way
it.
as well.
So what's the concept for both of these? Because they feel like one story, but they're still like pretty connected. Is that kind of the goal?
Yeah, we had actually planned for a different video for Posing in Bondage, and we had this sort of like last minute sort of production disaster that changed it around. It's actually This video is actually going to be like almost like an epilogue to the third single, the music video for the third single, but it's presented sort of out of order. I feel like there could be a universe where this video is somehow connected to Be Sweet. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah,
It's
I mean,
another dimension.
we do love to like put in sort of little Easter eggs into the music video. So like all the ramen cups that are
Ramen.
sweet are like also in this video. And yeah, we always just, there's also like, if you look at the bulletin board in Be Sweet, you can see the monster from Roadhead and the sort of SSFAP logo that was in the Machinist video. So we do love to like sneak in Easter eggs for like the real heads. We also have a poster of the Be Sweet video that we put up for the Posing in Bondage grocery store on the exterior.
Caught
So
that one.
good.
Check.
We do love to like hide little secrets in there.
I love that. So yeah, we're recording videos while we're still kind of doing this weird quarantine thing. How's that experience been?
It's very stressful. There's a lot of protocol and COVID testing involved. But yeah, I mean, I'm really glad that, when we originally and like a much smaller crew, but when we originally were going to release this album a year ago, it was actually right before we were about to shoot the Be Sweet video. And I remember my producer calling me and being like, "Do you think that this pandemic is going to impact like our shoot in March?" And I was like, "I don't see how it has anything to do with us. Like, why would that be a thing?" So we ended up pushing the album a year later, when there was, a much there were a lot more ways to kind of navigate it, and a lot more like knowledge of what was going on. So I am very glad, because the visual element of our album cycle is always a really big part of it. So I'm glad that we got to do it.
Yeah, I love them, and I can't wait for the next video.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
really good.
They're so fun. And my last question before I let you go is about, you just announced a tour as well, which is pretty sweet. The last time I saw you was, oh my God, it was South by Southwest
Oh my
2019.
gosh. Oh
And
my
you were, I think busy is just like one of your like adjectives, because oh my God, you did like 7 million shows that
Oh yeah.
week. I saw you at least 5 or 6 times.
Amazing. I honestly like thrive in that type of like hectic environment. And in like South by, I feel like most artists really hate South by, but I've had like such a charmed experience at every South by I've ever played, that I was so sad when it got canceled in 2020 and this year as well. But yeah, I mean, it was honestly much easier to play those shows as like a kind of headliner than it was to, when we started in 2016, and no one really cared about us. Yeah, but it's
like you're
been
fighting.
fun. Yeah, I mean, but it's like that, totally, the struggle is very real. But yeah, South by Southwest has always been that marker of just like sort of where we were at in that career. So that was like an incredibly charmed South by, I feel like, to finally like have a sort of name that we made for ourselves.
Yeah, because I think right after that tour, you came to Red Rocks, and I don't remember who you opened for, but
Interpol.
Interpol, that's what it was. And yeah, you were just on like this tour circuit for so long. And yeah, I feel like the aesthetic of your live performance then was still pretty bright and colorful and high energy. Do you feel like you'll be giving a similar performance, or can we expect something really exciting and different from this tour?
We are going to expand the band. So we should have like a 6-piece band for these next shows, which I'm so excited for. Like the album Jubilee is a much bigger record, and there are much larger arrangements. There's strings and brass. So we knew we wanted to bring in new members to kind of bring that to life. So I'm really excited. It's going to be, I feel like it's going to feel like bigger, and we always just try to push ourselves and be bigger and better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Going to my horn a little bit, but I got to listen to your album ahead of time. And yeah, the sound of it is just like such a crescendo in comparison to the
Thank
last pieces that you've put out, because yeah, there's a lot more sounds, there's a lot more, it feels like a lot more production. And so I'm just imagining your live show is just going to be on a whole different level from the last time that I saw you and the last time that your other fans have seen you.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, some songs on the record where I don't even know. It's so large that I don't even know how we're gonna bring it to life. But we're gonna definitely do our best.
Well, I'm excited. Coming to Denver, just announced for the Ogden. Maybe it'll be elevated because it'll sell out so quick. Who knows? We never know. But I just want to say thank you again for talking with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we are looking forward to Jubilee, which will be out in June, and to Crying in H Mart, which comes out later this month. And if you have not watched, you need to go and watch those videos on YouTube because whew, Be Sweet and Posing in Bondage are so good. They're so fun. And yeah, thank you again, Michelle. I
Thank you
really
so much,
appreciate it.
Terry. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And for more indie sessions at home, make sure to tune into Indie 1023 and check out all of the interviews and performances at indie1023.org. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.